Hi everyone, so today we're gonna present about consumer protection. My team members are Family, Farisa, Jeremy, and myself, Vanessa. So what are the key learning objectives of this presentation? So we are gonna know the 5 major rights of consumer. We also analyze the reasons of the consumer advocacy, as well as the ways on which government is regulating all these consumer protection regulations, as well as determining how consumer privacy online can best to be protected. We also gonna examine how the courts protect consumers and efforts. And finally, we're gonna evaluate how social responsibility corporation can proactively respond to consumer needs. Okay, so as I mentioned before, there are 5 major rights of consumers. So the first one is the right to be informed. So in this one is a protection against fraudulent, deceitful, or grossly misleading informations. Could be any advertising or labeling, and to be given the facts to make informed purchasing decision. So a good example of this one is when you buy a smartphone. So you have the right to know the price, the guarantee, all the features of the smartphone. Then we have the right to safety. So this one is a protection against the marketing of goods that are hazardous to health or life. An example for this one is the children's toy. So when you buy this special toy for the kid, they have to make sure that it's not harmful for them. So like they don't have any chemical or any sharp or age that can harm the children. Then we have the right to choose. So this one assurance of access to variety of products and services at competitive prices. An easy example is when you go to the supermarket and you are free to grab and choose any of the products available. And then we have the right to be heard. This one assures that consumer interests will receive full and sympathetic consideration in government policy and the courts. And finally, we have privacy, assurance that information disclosed in a commercial transaction or when using social media or searching online is not shared with others, especially when we buy something online. We have the right that all our data and credit card information is safe. Okay, so we have 4 methods of protecting consumers. As we can see in the graph, we have the 4. So the first one is consumerins, is when consumers have to protect their own interests. Then we have government regulations. As the name says, is when government regulates product safety and protects consumer privacy. We also have the law and courts. This one is when people sue when they have any injury by the product. And then we have the industry self-regulations. So this one is when businesses and industries protect their consumers through product recalls, quality programs, and voluntary codes. So these methods work together to ensure consumers are safe, informed, and also they're treated fairly. Okay, let's continue. Then we have the self-advocacy for consumer interests. So as long as any store or business starts, consumers have tried to protect their interests when they go to the marketplace to buy goods and services. So as I mentioned before in the graph, we have the consumer is, as I explained before, it's a collective effort by consumers in many countries to safeguard their own rights in many nations. So a good example of this one is the U.S. advocacy organization. So they all work together in order to ensure the safety of the consumers. So they have Public Citizens, National Consumers League. They have also the Public Interest Research Group, as well as the American Association for Retired People. So each country has their own organizations, And now we're gonna talk about how Canadian government protects consumers, especially that we are in the here in Canada. So let's start with the first one that are the federal consumer protection measures. So we have four of them. The first one is the Competition Bureau. This one ensures fair competitions and prevents false advertising, monopolies, and price fixing. So, what are the key facts of this one? So, Competition Act, which promotes fair business practices. We have the Consumer Packing and Labeling, the Textile Labeling Act, that is the proper fever, content disclosure, and weights and measures as well. The second one, and very important, is the Canadian Food Inspection Agency that ensures food safety and accurate labeling to protect consumers for fraud and unsafe products. One of these, one example of this situation, I used to work as a barista in a coffee shop, and they do like annual inspection, food inspection in the store. So they came, and actually just because of the temperature of one of the fridge, they classify the place. So it's very important that we make like we make sure that all the products that we sell or promote are in good conditions. And then we have the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. This one regulates financial institution for transparency and fairness. And the last one is the Office of Consumers Affairs, which empowers consumers with resources and advocacy. Then we're gonna continue, and my teammate Femeline is gonna explain more about it.
Okay, so hello, Professor. I am Femeline Digyowa. So I will be discuss about consumer protection laws. So consumer protection laws plays an important role, which ensures we as consumers are safe, informed, and treated fairly. So these laws help protect us from hazardous products, ensure businesses don't mislead us, and give us the tools to resolve disagreements when things go wrong. So I have here the first one, which is the Canada Consumer Product Safety Act, or CCPSA, wherein it is a law that ensures products sold in Canada are safe for consumers. So it also prevents dangerous or defective products from being sold in the market. So example, as was saying a while ago, if a child's toy is found to have a small parts that could be choking hazard for the child for these children, it will be removed automatically from the store shelves under this law. So we have here also the Health Canada, wherein it oversees the safety of various products like food, cosmetics, and electronics, making sure that they are safe for consumer to use. So, for example, for this one, if a batch of skincare products contains harmful chemical, Health Canada would recall them from the market to protect consumers. So second here is the redness mechanism. I have here this three: ombudsperson, small claims court, and alternative dispute resolution, or what we call ADR. So first is that ombudsperson. So what's the meaning of this ombudsperson? Ombudsperson is the ombudsperson is they are the one who are in charge, or they are the officials who investigates complaints from consumers to help resolve disagreements between consumers and businesses. So for example, if a consumer bought a faulty product and the company refuses to refund, an ombudsman can help resolve the issue. And second here is that the small claims court, or a simpler, more affordable way for people or for consumers to settle disputes over money, such as getting a refund for a product that didn't work or defective, for example. So if a consumer buys a broken appliances or any products, they can use this small claims court to get a refund or replacement without the need of without they don't have to go to the lawyers. So meaning it is cheaper for them and it is easier for them to resolve it. So third is that the alternative dispute resolution, or what we call ADR, wherein this is a way to solve disagreements without going to a court. Methods like we have mediation where and arbitration. What's the meaning of mediation? Or it is also what we call mediator, wherein it helps two sides to talk and find a solution to their problem. And then arbitration, or what we call also the arbitrator, wherein they listen to both sides and make a decision to solve their problems. So in other words, a mediation focuses on helping both sides agree, while arbitration results in a decision made by the arbitrator. So, for example, if a customer has a problem with a service, they might settle it through mediation rather than a lawsuit. So, next, we have here the educational. Third is the educational campaigns and resources. We have here the anti-fraud campaigns, wherein these are public awareness efforts to educate consumers about scams and frauds. So the Competition Bureau and Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or what we call RCMP, lead these campaigns uh, to help people recognize and avoid fraudulent activities. So, for example, a campaign warning about phishing emails that pretend to be from bank asking for your personal information. So second here is the consumer handbook, where in consumer handbook, these are guides or bases published from our government to inform consumers about the rights and how to protect themselves, wherein they explain what to do if you have a problem with a product or service. Example, consumer rights handbook might explain on how to handle a faulty product, or what to do if a store refuses a refund. So next slide, please. So I have here the goals of consumer protection laws. First is to provide consumers with better information. So meaning this goal ensures that consumers have all the informations they need when making a purchase so that they can make informed decisions. So for example, before they will buy a product, they should be able to read its label, including all the ingredients, the prices, and all the potential risk. So second is to protect consumers against possible hazard. So this means that uh, the products and services are safe to use and don't cause harm to consumers. So for example, a food product must be free from harmful bacteria, and for example, a toy for children must not have a small parts, as I was saying a while ago, that could be a choking hazard. So third will be to promote competitive pricing, wherein they make sure that the prices are fair and businesses don't exploit consumers by charging too much. For example, because there are some stores that they charge overpricing, they do overpricing compared to the other stores. So a law might prevent a company from charging usually or unfairly high prices for essential goods like medication or this gas. And fourth is to promote consumer choice, wherein this allows consumers to choose from a variety of options so that they can select the best product for their needs. So, for example, a store offering several different brands of shampoo, wherein it allows consumers to compare prices and ingredients before deciding which brand or which one to buy. So, fifth is to protect privacy, wherein this goal uh, it, sh- it ensures that businesses do not misuse or mishandle personal information. So, for example, a company must inform you about how it will use your data before you share personal details when making a purchase. So next slide, please. So let's go to major consumer protection laws, which wherein first is the information protections, wherein for example, as you can see the box of a cigarette, wherein there is labels and warnings that was stick on it when wherein products must have clear labels to inform us consumers or the users about the uh, effect or the risk or ingredients, wherein this includes everything from nutritional information on food to warning labels on hazardous products. So second is the direct hazard protection, wherein it bans on dangerous products, wherein products that pose significant risk to consumers are banned from sales. So for example, toys with small parts, as my teammates was saying a while ago, could be swallowed are also banned. And we have here also the recalls, wherein products that are found to be defective or unsafe are recalled and removed from the market. So for example, if your car has a faulty airbags, it will recall to prevent injury. So third is the pricing protections, wherein we have here the all costs related to purchasing a home, such as taxes or insurance, and fees must be disclosed. For example, when you buy a house, it will show the total cost, including the tax, the hidden charges, and this is to ensure that the this is to ensure that the buyer understand or there is no hidden charges on it. So, for example, pricing of goods must be clear to consumers know exactly how much they will pay on it. So next presenter will be my supposed to be to Jeremy.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy and I will be continuing the discussion. The next topic that we have is deceptive advertising. Deceptive advertising happens when a company or a business misleads or tricks customers into believing something about a product or service that isn't entirely true. The goal is often to convince people to buy something that they otherwise wouldn't, or to get a more positive impression of a product than it deserves. This can happen through false statements, exaggerated claims, or leaving out important information. Deceptive advertising is also illegal in most countries, and the U.S. Federal Trade Commissions enforces the laws prohibiting deceptive advertising, and the U.S. Justice Department enforces related laws prohibiting false claims. So, what are the key elements of deceptive advertising? First is false claim, stating something that isn't true about a product. Let's say example, um, saying a product that it's 100% organic when it's not. Second is omissions, leaving out important information or details that could change a customer's purchasing decision. Example is not mentioning or not telling the customer about the side effects of a product. And then third one is exaggeration, overstating the benefits or quality of a product to make it sound better than it really is. An example is saying a product could make you lose 10 pounds in a week without any evidence. So, why is it a problem? First, it's because it violates trust between businesses and consumers. Second, is it can harm consumers financially, physically, and mentally. Third is it is unethical as it prioritizes profit over honesty. And last is it can also harm a company's reputation and violates laws or regulation. An example of deceptive advertising issue is the Volkswagen emission scandal, or also known as Dieselgate. So, what happened is Volkswagen marketed their diesel vehicles as clean diesel cars, promoting them as environmental friendly and low in emissions. However, in 2015, it was discovered that Volkswagen had installed software in their cars to cheat emission tests. So when the car were tested for emission, the software would reduce emission temporarily to pass the test. However, on the road, these cars emitted far higher pollution level, up to 40 times the legal limit. So now, why is it deceptive advertising? It's because Volkswagen misleads consumers with false claims about the environmental impact of their cars. They presented their vehicles as clean and sustainable when in reality these vehicles were causing significant environmental harm. So, what are the ethical issues? Number one is misleading customers who trusted the brand. Second is contributing to air pollution and harming the public health. And third is violating the laws around emission standards. So, what are the impact of the issue? First is Volkswagen faced a heavy fine and a damaged reputation. Second is the consumer felt betrayed. Third is the case became a cautionary tale of how deceptive practices can harm the society and the environment. So, what is the key takeaway from this issue? I think it's deceptive advertising isn't just a marketing issue. It's also an ethical issue that affects trust, consumer safety, and sustainability. Companies have a responsibility to be honest with their products. In cases like Volkswagen, misleading ads can have serious consequences for the business, society, and environment. So, this figure is the major consumer protection agencies and their major responsibilities. So we have the Federal Trade Commission, Food and Drug Administration, Consumer Product Safety Commission, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Department of Justice, National Transportation Safety Board, and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and the Department of Agriculture. Moving on with our next topic is the consumer privacy in the digital age. In the early 21st century, rapidly advancing information technologies created both opportunities and concerns regarding consumer privacy. Companies gained the ability to collect, analyze, and use a vast amount of personal data from their customers. While this data helps companies in providing personalized products, services, and advertising, this also raises a significant ethical and safety concern. So, what are the key concerns of this issue? Number one is fraudulent use of information. Personal data such as credit card numbers, addresses, or social security information can sometimes be stolen or used in fraudulent or used fraudulently. Examples include identity theft or unauthorized financial transaction. The second concern is the violation of personal privacy. Companies may collect more information than necessary without the consumer's clear consent. This can lead to a feeling of being monitored or loss of control over one's own personal information. So, why it matters? We have three reasons: trust, ethics, and regulations. Trust, excessive data collection without transparency destroys consumers' trust in businesses. Second, ethics. It's an ethical concern when a company prioritizes profits over respecting individual privacy. And third is regulations. Governments are introducing a stronger privacy laws to hold business accountables. So here in Canada, we have the PIPEDA, or the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Data Acts, or Data Act. An example of consumer data issue is the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal. So in 2018, it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica improperly harvested data from millions of Facebook users without their knowledge. So what happened is a quiz app collected not only users' data but the data from their Facebook friends. So this data was later used for political advertising without their consent. So what's the ethical issue? The consumer's privacy was violated and their data was exploited for the purposes they never agreed to. And then the impact is Facebook faced significant backslash, fines, and regulatory investigations for failing to protect users' privacy. So, what is the key takeaway from this issue? While technologies innovates and while technologies enables businesses to innovate and improve customer experiences, it also comes with a responsibility to protect consumer protection. Businesses must adapt to ethical practices, be transparent about data use, and comply with privacy regulations to maintain trust and ensure fair treatment to their customers. So next topic that we have is the behavioral advertising. Behavioral advertising refers to a type of online advertising that is customized for individual users based on their observed online behavior. This includes the website they visit, the searches they perform, and the product they browse, and even the content that they click on. So advertisers use this data to deliver personal ads that aligns with users' interest and preference. So how does it works? Businesses use tracking tools like cookies, browsing histories, and algorithms to gather data about a user's online activity. This data helps create personalized ads that target customers more effectively. So, what are the benefits of the behavioral advertising? Number one is the buyer is more likely to receive message that are relevant. Second is the seller is more likely to reach prospective customers. The risk is consumers may be denied opportunities such as credit based on their online profiles. Second is information collected by behavioral advertisers may not be kept private and secure. Example of company that uses behavioral advertising is Google Ads. Google is a major player in behavioral advertising. It collects data from user searches, YouTube views, and other online activities. The benefit is if you search sustainable travel backpacks, you're likely to see ads for eco-friendly travel gear, which helps you connect with businesses. The risk is Google's vast collection of user data raises concerns about how private or secure that information is, especially in the event of breach or misuse. So, the rapid growth of internet commerce presents a dilemma. How can we protect consumer privacy while allowing business to benefit from online opportunities? The proposed solution is number one, consumer help, self-help. What it means is consumers take responsibilities for protecting their own privacy by using available tools and technologies. For industry regulation, what it means is internet-related businesses create their own privacy standards and agree to follow them voluntarily. And then last is the privacy legislation. What it means is government introduce laws and regulations to ensure consumer privacy is protected online. Next topic that we have is the product liability. So, product liability refers to the legal responsibility a company holds for injuries or harm caused by by a product it has made, distributed, and sold. When a product is found to be unsafe, consumers in many countries have the right to seek for compensation and sue companies for the damage. So, what are the key principles of product liability? Number one is protection for consumers, as it ensures that individuals harmed by defective or unsafe product can seek justice. Second is accountability for businesses. It holds companies responsible for ensuring their product are safe and free of defects. And third one is incentive for safety. It encourages manufacturers to prioritize safety in design, production, and in distribution. So, consumer advocates and trial attorneys has strongly support the legal protection as a way to ensure justice for harmed individuals. They argue that without such protection, companies might neglect product safety in pursuit of profit. So while there are supports from the consumer advocates and trial attorneys, there are some criticism from the business community, as some businesses argue that the current product liability system is unfairly biased in favor of the consumers. That is why they also called for a reform in the product liability. Next topic that we have is the strict liability. So, manufacturers are accountable for injuries arising from the use of their products, regardless of negligence or warranty violation. They may be also held accountable regardless of the awareness or regardless of the awareness of any wrongdoing. So, what are the key features of strict liability? Number one is it focuses on the safety of the product rather than the conduct of the manufacturer. Second is it protects consumers by holding companies accountable for injuries caused by defective or unsafe product. Third is it encourages businesses to be extra cautious about product safety, testing, quality, and control. Product liability cases are decided in court, where consumers seek compensation for injuries or damages, and the outcome of these cases are determined based on the national laws of each country. For example, in Canada, product liability is governed by common law principles and focuses on ensuring manufacturers meet a duty of care to consumer.
So hi Professor, I'm Teresa. I'll gonna talk about the alternative dispute resolution to consumerism achievements. Like this method for resolving conflicts between companies and consumers without going to court. Like they're just gonna uh be a settlement disagreements between companies and consumers other than going to court, like Ate Femelin said. And we also have the mediation, a voluntary process, a settle disputes using a third party neutral. And for the arbitration, a process where an impartial individual, or they're just gonna talk to both sides, and like binding the decision outside the court. And we also have this negotiation, like they're just gonna talk both sides without involving third parties. Like for example, a consumer contacts a company to resolve like a billing issue, and then after a lot of series of emails, calls to the company, they just agree like they're giving a partial refund or just a future discount. So next slide please. And we also have the argument in favor of ADR, the faster and cost effective. This is the faster and less expensive way to resolve um, a company consumer disputes and does not tie up to the judicial system with the minor issues. Like for example, a customer disputes a warranty claim with with the manufacturer through arbitration. They just talk both sides what's the issue, and they'll just gonna resolve it like few weeks, avoiding the expenses and delays in a lawsuit. So for the second one is the controversial aspects, mandatory and arbitration clauses. This is the consumer's ADR is the use of mandatory arbitration clauses that limit consumers' right to sue. For example, a cell phone provider's cell phone provider's contract includes the mandatory arbitration clause, preventing a customer from filing a class action lawsuit over hidden fees. Next, please. So for my next slide, this is the positive business responses to consumerism. First one is the managing for quality, ensuring product quality, all the measurements an organization takes to assure the quality. Like you can also meet what the customers want and expectations, reduce the liability risk, and like a foster brand loyalty. Managing for products and service quality is an attempt by business to address its customers' need. So example for this is like if you have in the car manufacturer conducts extensive safety testing on their vehicles, they're just ensuring and meet high standards which enhance customers trust and reduce recalls on the car. Second one is addressing the misuse of safe products. When a safe and high quality product is used in illegal or dangerous ways, These companies face challenges when their high-quality products are misused in illegal, raising an ethical and legal concerns. Example, if you're going to pharmacy or pharmaceutical company, you're gonna buy like painkillers or strict usage guidelines, but some consumers misuse. Sometimes the painkillers leads you to addiction and legal security despite the product safety when used correctly. So next slide, please. So third one is voluntary industry codes of conduct. Business in some industries have band together to agree on voluntary codes and conduct, spelling out how they will treat their customers. These codes promotes the trust, accountability, and consistency across the industry, often exceeding government regulations. So for example, the Western Growers Association adopted voluntary guidelines for growers and handlers of leafy green vegetables. So like these guidelines includes measures to prevent contamination, ensuring food safety, and protecting consumers' health. This proactive approach enhances public confidence in the industry and reduces the risk of widespread issues to the foodborne illness. So the next is the centralized customer support. It's gonna manage a complex network of contacts with customers, ensuring the seamless communications. And the next one is the multiple communication channels. These departments use consumer hotlines, interactive websites, and other tools to provide accessible and efficient support to customers. And also the data-driven insights. These softwares collects and analyzes customers' feedback from like surveys, social media, and unsolicited reviews, or for the business to identify the trends and improve products or services. Like, for example, a retail company tracks social media mentions to identify common complaints about a product and implements design changes on their what customers give to them as a feedback. So like the next one is proactive issue resolution. By monitoring feedback channels, consumers affairs teams can address problems and escalate the protecting company's reputation. Like if you have a restaurant, the restaurant chain identifies a issue with the online orders and updates to like ordering system to prevent the future errors. So next, please. So we also have these product recalls. Companies either voluntarily or under an agreement with a government agency takes back all items found to be dangerously or defective. So what's the problem? The public may not be aware of these public recalls, or like the dangerous products continue to be used. So for the 4 major agencies responsible for these recalls, it should be the Food and Drug Administration. This is the overseas about food, pharmaceutical, and medical devices recalls. For the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, handles the vehicles, automotive equipments recalls. For the Environmental Protection Agency, this is gonna handle the vehicles and products harmful to the environment. So for the Consumer Product Safety Commission, it manages manages to recall for consumers goods like kids toys or electronics and then appliances. Like the next one is, my last slide is the consumerism achievements. Consumers that can benefit due to the advancements on the consumers' rights and protections. This would be the improved access to information. Like if you have the better information about the goods and services that they're gonna purchase, you're gonna achieve the better feedback. So if the second one is the greater awareness of rights, if you are more aware of the rights when you are buying something or you're gonna go somewhere, it's not gonna go something goes wrong. You can have, like, example, a customer successfully gets a refund or a defective appliances under the store's return policy. And that last one is the protection against misleading practices. If you have a better protected against inflated advertising claims or hazardous or ineffective products and unfair pricing to that product. So it's just a regulatory measurements against the advertising and the pricing. So I think that's all for my part or my topic, and this will be the last slide. Thank you for listening, Prof. Have a good day.
And just like a conclusion overall, as we heard before, protecting consumer rights ensure fairness and safety. So advocacy, regulations, the industry efforts work together to create this fair marketplace for everyone and all the consumers. Thank you one more time, Professor.